Welcome back everyone to Mona's Take. I am your host monadrose and we are here to talk about everything reality TV. We are on day 2 of the live feeds. A lot of conversations going on. A lot of alliances being made. We've got alliances within the alliance that's being made. A lot of talk going on. So stick around, we'll get right to it. People are acting on a whole nother level on that. I can't wait to see that karma train coming through. Choo-choo. Mood of the day. Really? You gotta give us more credit than that. Some people, buckle up, buttercup. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Alright, day 2 in the Big Brother house. Lord, I said it before, but I'll say it again. I forgot just how crazy that house is with that many people in it. We normally have 16, now we have 17. It didn't get any less chaotic, I will give you that. So, the day started out normal, everybody waking up. I think they probably got up at 10-ish. Everybody started getting up. Of course, they didn't go to bed until 6:45 Central Time. So, they didn't get much sleep. They got up, started their day normal. Everyone chit-chatting. Hassam and Sari had a very, very long conversation. While he was working out, she was sitting on the bench. They were talking about the medical field and everything that happened during COVID and after, and work ethic. Now remember, Hassam is a doctor, but he's telling everybody that he's a CNA, which is a certified nurse's aide. So he knows some of the medical terms, and Sari being a nurse, they just clicked. And they were in there probably a good hour. Nobody came in. It was just them talking about the medical field, talking about Hassam's mother, talking about trying to figure out a way where people can age gracefully at home, instead of having to go to like nursing homes and things like that. So it was a very long, in-depth conversation. Sari is not hiding the fact that she is an OR nurse. She really can't. If anybody's ever watched Survivor or The Traitors or anything else with her on it, they've already Googled her. They already know her whole history, so she can't lie about it. And she has such a knack for making connections with people. And it's genuine. Even though she may have to stab you in the back in the end, like she did The Traitors with Ari, she's still genuine in the connections that she makes. And she has a knack for it. Sari and Izzy talk a little bit more. And they talk about Bowie. And that they need to have some one-on-ones with her. That they really haven't had a chance to talk to her much. So they need to talk to her a little bit more and see where she's at. Hassam comes in and joins them and tells them that he's so happy that he's connected with them, that he feels some energy on the other side of the house, and that something is going on. He says that he feels a vibe with them, he feels a connection with them, and that they really need to start forming something to offset what's forming on the other side of the house. Never said any names. They're very vague about the names. Most of the people are when they're talking. So it's kind of hard to decipher who they're talking about. I think he was talking more about the guys. He thinks that the guys are getting together and that they're doing an all-guys alliance. A little while later, Sari is talking to Felicia. And Felicia tells Sari that she's going to enjoy herself. But the noise is starting to get to her already. She's in the living room reading her Bible. And she said she thinks that there should be a rule at a certain time of the day, like from 1 to 2, nobody talks. Everybody's quiet. So she's missing her quiet time. The house is very loud with 17 people in it. I know what it's like watching the live feeds and trying to hear conversations and stuff that are going on. I can't imagine being in the house and it being as loud as it is all the time. Because remember, this is day 2, week 1. So nobody's going to sleep. They're staying up all night, and that'll probably go on for a couple of weeks. And they start thinning some people out. Different people get HOH. That will start to calm down. But right now, it is total chaos in the house. It's so loud. They talk about Kirsten again. They've both been watching her, and they talk about how deliberate she is with everything, trying to be in every conversation, trying to make connections with every single person in the house. So their sights are still set on Felicia at the moment, although they do distrust Corey. There's a lot of talk going on in the house that Corey may have some kind of advantage when he went to the Netherlands. And I think he was only gone like 2 hours, but still, they're thinking he may have gotten some kind of special power. And we have a new HOH. They had the HOH competition, and our first HOH of the year is Riley. It sounds like it was a choice of maybe 3 different size balance beams type thing. But then Corey was saying that Jared was saying that he went to one of the stations and got there the same time Corey did. And if Corey hadn't have done that, he could have won. I have no idea what all was going on in the backyard. It sounds like there may very well be every competition for right now may be in stations like we saw with the nominations. So, I don't know. But Riley is the new HOH. It pans off to Siri, Jared, and Izzy talking about what Jared needs to do to come off the block. Siri is actually worried about him staying on the block. So, they're like, you need to talk to Riley. You need to see if you can make a deal. And he's like, well, even if I don't come off the block, there's still the veto. He's like, I'm confident in that. But we all know how that goes when you're confident in any of the competitions. You don't tend to do that well. So I think his best bet would be to get Riley to take him off the block. Because that's the deal. The HOH is going to get to take 2 people off the block. This week. Now, next week may change. We don't know what's going on. But this week, since the HOH is not making nominations, there's 4 to choose from. She's going to bring 2 down. In turn, putting the other 2 up for eviction. I'm thinking at the beginning of this when Riley first won a HOH, I was thinking she would leave the guys, or take the guy, that she would leave the guys on the block, that she would take Felicia and Kirsten off and leave the 2 guys up there. That was my first reaction with Riley, but we'll see how that goes. Jared, Matt, and Luke talk, and they're talking about the cookout. And they're talking about who they can bring in to their alliance, their +1. Everybody in the house is talking about the cookout. Everybody is trying to make an alliance based on the cookout. Sari was doing it with McCall, Izzy, Jared, Felicia, and then all of them bring a +1. That would be 8. Cameron talks to Riley later on in the night. He brings up the cookout. They have their core group within the alliance that they're trying to build. So they're talking about the cookout. everybody that's trying to make alliances right now is trying to do it based on the cookout. Hassam, the same way. The people he's trying to get on aligned with, everybody brings a +1. So everybody is on the cookouts trail. So we'll see how that works out for them. Jared says that he trusts Red. And Luke said Red is dangerous because Red is going to be a good social player, and he thinks that he's also going to be good at comps, and he's super wicked smart. So he's not feeling Red. He's like, he's dangerous. If we leave him in the game, he's dangerous. Jared is selling, bringing in Sari and Izzy and Felicia. He says, you know, nobody would think that we're working with the older women in the house, being Felicia and Sari. So let's bring them in to our alliance. So that alliance has not formed yet, but they're talking. That is Jared, Matt, Luke, Sari, Felicia, and Izzy. Like I said, they haven't officially formed it, but that's what they're talking about. Felicia talks to Riley, and she fills Riley in on what Kirsten supposedly has been doing. That she started Alliance Day 1 with Riley, Jared, Luke, Matt, and somebody else. There was 5 of them. Then she turned around and came in and tried to get an alliance with Sari, Felicia, Izzy, all the girls. So Felicia is filling in Riley on all this, and Riley's like, I picked that up. I saw how she was acting day 1, and she's like, we weren't 5 minutes in the house and she was already talking about alliances. But in the Big Brother world, we know you don't turn down an alliance. So, you're going to say yes. So, that's where we're at with that. I don't know if Riley actually believes that, or if she's just trying to make Riley feel better. I don't know which it is. But she's working it. She's definitely working it. Riley gets her HOH room. It's too early for the letters and the pictures and that aspect of the HOH room. But she gets a hell of a basket with, she didn't even pull out everything that was in it. She pulled out 1 or 2 things. And went on to the icebox, pulled out 1 or 2 things. She makes something called blueberry soup. Evidently, you take frozen blueberries and the milk of your choice. She said she uses almond milk. And you pour the milk over the blueberries, and then you smash them up. And the milk crystallizes around the blueberries and makes like an ice cream. So they had all the stuff in the fridge for her to do that. She was super excited about that. The room is very cool this year. It does have, like last year where they had the beads going into the bathroom, they actually have a sliding glass door, which is cool. A little bit more privacy. It pans back to Izzy and Hassam talking. Hassam is definitely feeling something from what he keeps saying is the other side of the house. I don't quite know what the other side of the house is right now. But he feels like there's something forming and they need to get ahead of it. He's very, very vague. So he basically tells her the same thing that he's already told Sari. He's already told Jared. Who else did he tell? I think that was Izzy, Jared, and Sari. He's told all of them the same story. They all agree that they want to see Kirsten and Corey stay on the block. They want to see Jared and Felicia come down. Hassam finally says that he thinks that the guys are forming an alliance. He's not part of it. He doesn't want to be part of it, but he thinks that the guys are coming together and they are forming something. He says his ideal alliance would be Siri, Jared, Izzy, America, Bowie, and Felicia. Kind of makes me think that he might think that he's on the outs, and that it's almost like the Outsiders last year, how they flipped it around and came together. The outcast, I guess you would say. So I think that that's what he's considering himself and the people that he's choosing. Izzy tells him that Jag is with the boys. McCole comes in and they talk about joining together and how they don't trust Kirsten anymore. Kirsten is on everybody's lips. There is nobody in that house, I think, that has not mentioned her name. Like, they see that she's charging or starting chaos. That's what she's going to be. She's very paranoid about everything. And some of the things that she's saying, like she said, they changed who was going to be have-nots, that they traded positions. Well, we all know you can't do that in Big Brother. They picked the 4 have-nots, and that's it. This week was a voluntary. They held up their hand. I think most of them thought there might be some kind of advantage if they did. But she sees it as the boys club getting together and that they planned that so that they could be in a room by themselves. It's not true, number one, what she's thinking, but this is what she's telling everybody. And they're seeing it. They're seeing that she's stirring the pot. So the alliance that Hassan would be proposing, not anything solidified yet, but this is what he's after, is Siri, Jared, McCole, Izzy, America, Felicia, Bowie, Blue. Now that and him, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a 9-person alliance. So that's what he's looking at. He thinks that Izzy should talk to some of them. He should talk to some of them. McCole should talk to some of them. And so that they're not all in the same room together. They split up and divide and conquer, I guess, is what he's looking at. So Riley and Kirsten talk. She makes sure as soon as Riley gets that HOH room and starts moving her stuff up there, she's right there helping. So they talk, and Riley tells her everything that she's told everybody else. That the guys are forming an alliance, that they're together, that she repeated something that one of them told her, and he came back and got mad at her and said he didn't say that. And it wasn't true about Corey. Corey having a superpower because he was pulled into the Netherlands. So she tells Riley everything that she's been spewing to everybody else. And I don't quite know if Riley is just being nice and saying, you know, or if she's actually taking some of this in. I think at the moment she's just being nice. And then there's a conversation because Hassan wants to get his team together. So him and Izzy pull Jared into the have-not room. And it was the most awkward conversation, I think, that I have ever watched. It was so cringy because now remember, Hassan thinks the guys are trying to start an alliance. So he's, in his mind, he's going after Matt and he's going after Corey and he's going after Luke and Jag and all of them he thinks has started an alliance already. So those are the people that he's going after. And every single person that he names, that he asked Jared about, Jared defends. He brings up Matt. Oh, Matt's a cool guy. I got Matt. You don't have to worry about Matt. Matt is so cool. And then he brings up Jag, and he's like, oh man, I'm feeling Jag. You know, he's a really nice guy. And I'm like, dude, let Hassam talk, because I'm going to tell you right now, what it reminded me of is when I was an office manager and I used to have to do interviews. They teach you not to elaborate. So if I'm going to interview you, I'm going to ask you, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And then I'm not saying anything else. I'm going to let you do the talking. And that's the kind of vibe that I got. Hassam would say, how do you feel about Matt? Jared would defend him and just go on and on and on. How do you feel about Luke? Jared would defend him and just go on and on and on. I'm thinking, you are not helping yourself, Jared. It got to the point where Izzy was like, she wasn't saying anything. Got to the point where she was like, well, I'm going to go downstairs because I really don't have any reason to be in the have-not room. But I think she was feeling it. Because everybody that they had just discussed downstairs about not feeling comfortable with and not trusting, Jared was all over. Oh, that's a good guy. He's trustworthy, blah, blah, blah. I was just like, Jared, shut up. Shut up. Find out what Hassam wants. Ask him some questions, you know. But he didn't do that. Hassam would ask a question and then he would just sit there and he would nod while Jared was talking. It was a very long conversation. But he defended Luke, Matt, Red. Defended Red. It's like everybody that Hassam was looking at sideways, Jared defended. And I'm like, dude, he's trying to get you in an alliance, but he wants to make sure that you're going to go after certain people, you know, or that you're not aligned with certain people. And from an outsider looking in, if I was Hassam, I would be thinking in my head, okay, they've already got him. He's a part of the Guys Alliance. Is exactly what I would be thinking. And he's a smart man. I mean, he's a doctor. He's not a dummy. And that's the thing about this cast. There are so many highly intelligent people on this cast. I've seen a few from seasons past. But I've never seen this many book smart, intelligent, degreed people on a cast together. I think that's gonna play a part in this season somehow. It has to. It's not a coincidence that all of these people that signed up to be on Big Brother that are super fans, like Cameron and Riley and Izzy. There's a few more, but those are the ones I can think of off the top of my head that I know for a fact are super fans. Corey, because of the way that they talk and they explain things about the game and the house. They've watched. They've actually been a fan. It's not just, oh, let me study this and watch a few episodes. So you can tell the difference. So Jared goes in to talk to Riley. And they're clicking. I mean, they're firing on both cylinders, both of them. It's just they start talking and they finish each other's sentences. He's playing it up. He's playing it up big time. I got you, girl. If you take me down, I got you. There is no way you're going up. And if you got me, you got Izzy, you got Miss Siri, you got Miss Felicia. So he's telling her, you not only get me, but I'm bringing 3 other people with me that I can promise you will have you. And he's like, and I can promise you Matt, Luke. He starts naming off the people that he feels good about. And Riley is just eating it up. She's like, yeah, that's, I like Jag. And he's like, oh yeah, I like Jag. And she's like, and Blue. And he's like, oh my God, Blue, I love Blue. And they're just going on and on. And they literally talked up there for over an hour and nobody came in. It was all game talk. It was all who they wanted in their alliance. It was who they could trust, what they want to do going forward, how they want to play the game. It was everything. Cameron comes in after it's been over an hour. He knocks, he comes in, Jared leaves. They don't really talk about anything game-wise. They're BSing, talking about being hungry, and Riley's like, yeah, I could go get something to eat because I haven't eaten. And he's like, well, let's go do that. So then they all go downstairs to eat. So there wasn't much on that conversation. They get done, and Riley starts having her talks again. I can't decide on Riley yet. I will have to see what she does and what she follows through with this week. I think that there's a lot of references being made about past seasons, like Kirsten. They're saying that she's pulling a Frenchie. They're talking about the cookout. They're making a lot of references to past seasons. But they're just, I forgot where I was going with that. Anyway, they are all making a lot of references to past seasons. Riley and Blue talk, and they bond right away. Oh, what I was saying about Riley. I'm not too sure about her yet. I don't know if she's going to be easily influenced, or if she's going to be wishy-washy, or if she's going to say, this is what I'm doing, this is why I'm doing it, and do it. I will see throughout the week how this plays out, if she actually follows through, because depending on who she's talking to, she's saying the same thing. I really want you on my team. I want a team that I can trust. I want to make sure that even on bad weeks that we stick together. I don't want someone who's going to be switching and flip-flopping alliances and this and that. So it sounds like she wants to work with everyone. Oh, sorry guys. I have to get used to this sleep pattern again. I sleep when the house gets sleep, and right now they're not sleeping. And I've got other things that I have to do as well. My jewelry business that I've got going on TikTok. If you haven't followed me over there, it's Mona _take. Look me up over there. We do surprise jewelry reveals. But I'm not getting much sleep. So you guys are going to have to excuse the yawning, and every once in a while my mouth starts moving quicker than my brain. That's not always a good thing. So Riley and Blue talk. They hit it off. They bond. They want to work together. Have a long conversation. Same old. Everything that Riley has told everybody else, she tells Blue. And then Cameron comes back, and they talk for quite a while. I think they talked for an hour or so about the game, past seasons, where they see this season going. Cameron is all convinced that this being the 25th season, that their Big Brother is eating up the fact that they're talking about past house guests, that they're bringing up past episodes and past seasons and things like that, because this is the 25th season. It's historic. That they're just, CBS is just eating them up right now. Honestly, at times it was a hard conversation to follow because it was so cringy. It was like, they've been in the house 2 days, but Riley's like, I'm telling you right now, I don't care what anybody says, this is the best cast that they've ever had on Big Brother. How many times have we heard that? Every single cast, but usually it takes more than a couple of days. But yeah, she's convinced this is the best cast ever. Cameron's convinced that he's going to be in the same league with Dr. Will and with Derek and Evil Dick, and he starts naming off people that have been on past seasons, and that he's going to be that now, and it's so great, and it's historic, and they just are so, oh yeah, I know, I get it, oh yeah, I just feel the good vibe with you, I knew as soon as I saw you, you are my people, oh same, I thought the same thing, and I'm just like, how many people are you going to tell this to? So I'm not sure about where Riley actually stands, because she's telling everybody the same thing. I know last year there was a lot of switching wishy-washy. Taylor was that way. When Taylor was HOH, she was very easily manipulated into doing something and thinking it was her own ideal. Who else? Oh, I can't think of his name. The long-haired dude that does the rugs. I'll think of it later. I told you guys I haven't had any sleep. But he was very easily manipulated. And I'm thinking that Riley is going to be this way, because everybody that she talks to, I think she changes her opinion of different people, and she's slowly changing her opinion about what she wants to do. Now she wants to pull off Jared, and she wants to pull off Corey, because she had a talk with Corey. I think I'm getting ahead of myself. No, I'm on the right track. So she had a conversation with Corey. After that conversation, she feels bad for him. She feels empathy for him because he got drug out and taken out of the game for a couple hours, and that everybody's looking side-eyed at him. And so she's feeling empathy for him. So she wants to pull down Jared and Corey. She wants to leave Felicia on as a pawn, and she wants Kirsten to go home. That right now is her thinking. We will see what happens after she talks to Felicia, because as of right now, she still has not talked to Felicia and told her plan. So probably, depending on how Miss Felicia takes it, we may have another change of heart. I don't know. But right now, she has not talked to her about it at all. I already told y'all that was the most cringy conversation I'd ever listened to. I don't do good with, I'm blunt and I'm to the point. And I have a really good BS detector. And I can tell usually when someone is being fake. And I got that a lot from the conversation that was going on between Cameron and Riley. If that's actually how they are, I will see in future days, and I may change my mind. But I detected a lot of BS in that conversation. It's like, who can out BS the other one? It was painful. They talk about how they're going to run the game. They're going to start playing the game. They're going to run the game. Riley says she wants a solid 8. That's a majority of the house. And that if she can get a solid 8, they can run it to the end. And then they can start competing against each other. And Cameron's like, well, we have our core 5. And their core 5 would be Blue, Jared. Yeah, Blue, Jared, Jack. Not Jared. They're 5. Would be the ones that are in the scary room. That would be Cameron. Where are we at? That would be Cameron, Riley, Jag, Corey, and Blue. I think it's who all is in that room. Let me see. There's Jag, Matt. I think America may be in there too, but they didn't name her. They named those 5. Cameron tells her that he's got his sights set on Siri, that the fact that she's played 4 times, nobody gets 4 chances. So I think he didn't come right out and say, we're going to go after Siri, because then he started talking real sweet about Siri. So I think he was kind of just planting that seed so that they could go after Siri eventually. He says that he calls her Aunt C and Mama, he calls Felicia Mama F and calls Siri Aunt C. That he just loves both of them to death, and that they would be numbers for them, but they would be on the outside. They would just be numbers for them, but they would feel like they were part of the alliance. So what they're saying is they're having a core, then they're having the alliance, and then they're going to have branches of the alliance. So hell, why not have everybody in the damn house? That's the way it is. Like I said, it was... I hate to see when people get too cocky, and you can tell that they're playing it up for the TV, because they know the TV cameras are on them. So they're playing it up. And that's what I'm getting from those 2. But Riley's also playing the sweet, wholesome, whole town girl. They, like I said, they talked for an hour, hour and a half probably. Then Siri comes in and Cameron leaves, and Siri says that they start talking about her being on Survivor. And she says, everybody that I've aligned with, and the reason I didn't win is because they won. She's like, you know, Ari, he and I, we got together, and it was till the end, and he won. And me and Poverty, you know, we got together day 1 when I was swimming. And I was having trouble swimming. She grabbed my hand and said, I got you. And it was like, that was solid. And she's like, and Poverty ended up winning. So I think Siri was trying to say, you know, I'm loyal to the end even if I don't win. Which in Survivor, it's a little bit different now, because first place is the only one that gets, I think, the prize money. Used to, I remember when they did first and second, like first place would get the $1 million and second would get 50,000 or something like that. But they don't do that anymore. Whereas Big Brother has a first and second place, so both of them are going to get a payout, no matter what you want to be in those final 2 chairs. Period. Siri says that you have to play with integrity, that you have to keep your word, that this is a long game. You can't go around lying to this one and lying to that one and lying to this one and expect to not get caught, because it's a long time in the house to be playing dirty. And Riley's like, I agree. I want everyone to know this season that I'm playing with integrity and that I'm not that way. And I want to, the same spiel, I want to form a team. I want to have 8 people. I want to make sure that that team is loyal to me even in bad times. And they're not going to flip-flop and da-da-da. Same speech she's given everybody else. But Siri tells her right quick, you can't play this game dirty. You gotta be able to have some integrity. Siri tells her that Felicia would never come out. She said, I can promise you, Felicia would never come after us. She said, I can look at her and I can feel her energy. And I know that no matter what, that she's got us. She's not going to go against us. And Riley tells her plan to use Felicia as a pawn and pull down Jared and pull down Corey, and why she wants to pull them down. Again, the only one in that house I think that knows that Jared is Ciri's son. I always say Ciri, it's Ciri. The only one in the house that knows that Jared is Ciri's son is that Izzy, and that's only because she followed her social media and she is a huge fan, so she knows everything about her. Cameron has brought up a couple of times the fact that CBS has brought in a random, how did he put it, a random Survivor player. Number one, Ciri Fields is not anything random about Survivor. So I thought that was a little shade. But to me, it sounds like he's going to keep her around for numbers until they don't need her anymore. And then she's going to be the first one cut. Is what I got from all of the conversations. That may change. I don't know. But I think about, 5:30, 6 o'clock, they all got in bed and had lights out. So hopefully they're going to start doing a little bit more normal going to bed at night, so I can get some more sleep. If nothing else, because it's hell catching up. But that's what we have for day 2, guys. So I will see you tomorrow. See what day 3 holds in store. I'm sure they're probably going to do the nominations tonight, which is taking 2 people off of the block. I'm thinking, what is tomorrow? Saturday. I'm thinking they're going to do the veto competition on Saturday. So we'll know who's on the block, who got the veto, and what's going on from there. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you tune in. Like the video. If you are not following me, subscribe to follow me. Share out the video. And make a comment. Let me know what you guys think. I don't want to just give you my opinion. My opinion's not always right, although it is most of the time. But, joking, you guys know that. Alright, I love you. I will see you all tomorrow and see what day 3 holds. As always, guys, much love.